Hello, everybody. There is, good morning. It's not probably morning where you are, but it's morning where I am, so that's our story today, part of our story. I'll get right to it as best I can. Hello to my subscribers, all 10 of you. I'm just not sure what to do with this channel, where I'm going with it, what I'm doing with it. There's a lot of expediter channels that do a similar thing. I think a lot of them explain things better and teach you more things about this job, where me, it's just complaining about my day-to-day stuff here. So I'll update you on what today is. And I haven't updated this channel in a while, so there's been weeks and weeks and weeks of expediting gone bad. And for the most part, when I don't update, it's because things are just pretty much going really good and I'm busy. And that's probably since the last time I updated, that's kind of how I rolled. I had some great weeks, and that really set me up for where I am right now. It was neat how things kind of fell into place. But still on the introduction, I'm looking at the full moon right there, and sun is rising behind me, and I'm in South Carolina, and I'll get to that in a second. We'll start a few months back. Right around the time that they announced the global pandemic was hitting the United States, and things were going into crisis mode, things were shutting down. At that time, automotive plants were still running. A lot of things were just like, what? And then everything was just like, oh, it's really happening. And by about the late March, beginning of April, everything was like shutting down, and then stay-at-home orders became the norm, and then everything, even commercial advertising, seemed to switch to like the new normal, coronavirus. So if you're watching this in the future, you probably might even be like, oh yeah, I remember when that happened. But anyways, right now we're in the midst of it, and so no, I'm not going to give you a one-sided opinion on what's going on. I'm just going to tell you that that's what's happening, and you wear a mask, you wear gloves. It's not a big deal to me. I'm not personally affected by it. I'll tell you how the job has set me up to not be affected by it, and in my own personal life, I tend to be. I have this job because I'm somewhat of a reclusive person. I have shifted my life to be okay being distant from people. So the social distancing thing, that's like everyday life for me. So I don't see I see a lot of people that it really affects, and I don't. It's not really affecting me. Um. So. Yeah. Anyways, we started out then. When this stuff started happening, I was still pretty busy. Automotive plants were still running, so I was able to I got a whole bunch of great runs because they were open. And so for a few weeks, I was topping my 3,000 mile benchmark, which gives me a nice 4-digit or close to a 4-digit paycheck. And so, and gas prices started to drop, so really good. And traffic went down, so it was like I had 3 great weeks, and then came Nogales, Arizona. Great run out there because I hadn't really been that far west yet, so I was really excited to go there. My two started with the best part about it, cutting through New Mexico, was in the dark, and I did almost all the daylight in the Midwest. That was kind of a bummer, but I really got some neat scenery beyond Kansas, at the top of Arkansas. I think that's where it was, or Oklahoma perhaps. Cutting through Oklahoma, cutting through a corner of Texas. Really neat scenery. And then just the moonlight in the mountains, San Augustus Pass in the dark was amazing. Totally cool. Although I miss going by White Sands Park. I would have liked to have seen that in the daylight. Anyways, got to Nogales, Arizona. That was really neat. The day was really hot. I ended up sitting there, though, and what was usually a good spot for automotive parts that come out of Mexico that get distributed all over was not happening, because by then everything had shut down and all the plants were closed. So I sat there for almost 4 days and couldn't get out of there, and they deadheaded me to El Paso. El Paso was still amazing. I was still having a great time because it was warm while the rest of the country was freezing cold and having a big cold spell, which is still happening in the north, and it's May. Um, the I did a mountain climb in El Paso that was technically like closed for once again the COVID thing. All the parks were closed, but I kind of went around a side in a place that was sort of closed, and I didn't get caught because when I got down there, the state police did show up to just kind of see, hey, what was going on? What are you doing here? You know, you technically can't be here, so just wrap it up. Not a big deal there. You know, every encounter, like I said in the previous video, that I've had with police has been stellar, no problems at all. Um, you know, I'm reasonable with them, they're reasonable with me. You know, upfront, straightforward, and so it was a really good because I got way I never climbed a mountain before, and there was just like a little pathway, a rocky pathway up a giant hill, and I got this amazing scenic view. I was very high up. Like, you know, my the cars on the highway I started with were this big. 18 wheelers were that big. So, anyways, it was really cool. Um, and we had to leave. I eventually had to leave El Paso. Oh, I got a something. It was an interesting run. I got an interesting run from El Paso down south in Texas. I didn't think the freight would travel that way, but something left El Paso and went down to Far, Texas, which is like the Brownsville, McAllen kind of area. Not bad because freight leaves out of there when there's automotive stuff shipping. So I ended up sitting there a couple days, but it was still kind of cool because I made the best of it. I found cool places to go. It was really hot and unfortunately really humid, which was kind of a bum deal. So I tried to get to the beach, but the beaches were closed. So I tried to go to the parks, but the parks were closed. The libraries were closed. So it was going to be a tough kind of couple days waiting there. But I searched my map and I found a nature preserve was open. In this desolate, in the middle of nowhere, nature preserve was open. I ended up sleeping there 2 nights in a row. It was kind of not really supposed to happen. And by the third night, they kind of caught on. And the park ranger was like, nah, you can't sleep here. So I think I did one night in a Walmart parking lot. I can't really remember. But for 2 nights, I had this awesome, completely desolate. It was a little bit, see, the problem with being completely desolate is that you worry that it was like pitch black. Oh, and where I was parked the first night, some people came around in the middle of the night. I think they were just teenagers looking for a party spot. And, but, so I just didn't feel comfortable. I think I left some place and parked more near the, there was like a way back overlook area, way back in the woods. So, I came back. Oh, alligators were there. It was a lot of amazing stuff. So I went to the nature center there, and the thing is, overnight free Wi-Fi. The office had been closed. They left the Wi-Fi on, so I had Wi-Fi. It was just a lot of little cool things happening. So I eventually got out of Far, Texas to Peoria, Illinois. Not bad. The neat thing was right at about that time. But see, but by then it was really slowing down. Like I'd made steady weeks, 3,000 miles. The only way I made any good money on the trip to Nogales is because I got to 1,800 miles just getting there, with another 800 miles or 1,000 miles. It totaled around 2,500 that week. Then, sitting around the 4 days in Far, Texas, maybe it was 5 days, between the El Paso, Far, Texas, and Peoria, Illinois, it was really going down. But I still made like a reasonable paycheck those weeks. So those supported me because by then I paid off a couple good bills and got caught up on all my other bills that I'd been working on since I started this job. So I ended up with a little bit of bankroll, and it worked out really good because I had a week off coming up. Oh, and some stimulus check came from the government too, which kind of padded me for like a week's pay, which was kind of padded me for my week off. Now, um, I had a planned week off. It was my birthday anyways, so I oh, thank you, yes, yeah. It was my birthday, and I thought, I got some things to do at home. I haven't really been home for like a steady amount of time. I've been home a couple weekends, but not enough time to get anything really accomplished that I had to do. Some moving a car to storage that had been sitting outside. So it was really bugging me and in the back of my head all the time. So I wanted to get that done. I planned a week. They gave it to me, and I decided to take it. Now, it was good that they got me out of Texas. They got me to Peoria, Illinois. It was going to be it was 900 miles to Deadhead home. So that was about $150 in gas, roughly. I can't remember, but it was something like $120 in gas to get home. Not what I wanted to spend for the weekend. I didn't want to go negative or not be making any money, but it was still reasonable. It was 11 hours, but the good news is they felt like they couldn't find me anything. The weekend came, and they let me know early, which was really, I think, great of them, that they let me know on Saturday, hey, look, we had something for you on Saturday to get you closer to Cleveland, but it didn't pan out. So if you want to begin traveling home now, you're good to go. All right, so at least I got a head start on I was home. I basically, because I had the opportunity, I put the pedal to the metal and made sure that I was home by Sunday, or even Saturday night, so that I could have sleep in Sunday and have all Sunday to be at start my weekend a day early. So got all my stuff done. That week came and went, and then it was the weekend, and I thought, okay, guys, I'm back in service. Let me know what you find. Well. That was the 20th to the 7th. Then it became the first week of May. Went by. The whole week went by. Good news was there. Caught up with friends. Got some more stuff done that I didn't think I would get done. As a matter of fact, I stupidly ordered these tires that I found a deal on. I had money to do that. That was pretty crazy to just kind of splurge on tires I didn't really need, but they're for a car I have in storage. And so, they're only around for a limited time. They're not making that size anymore, but never mind that. They didn't come on time, and they were 2 days into the days I should have been back on the road. So that was really cool that I was home for that time. I thought, phew, I just made these, I made those tires. I was waiting in the mail for the title to come for my smart car that I paid off. That never showed up. And a letter from the bank that was supposed to be telling me, hey, thank you for paying off your loan. Your debt is cleared. I never got that either. So I think those were in limbo in the mail and still arriving. They're probably there now, and I'm not there to get them. So anyways, that's that. But that was 1 week, and then a third week went by. I believe I was home for 3 consecutive weeks, and then just finally got on the road after the third week went by. So not good. I'm not going to be getting a paycheck now for a while. But the good news is I have bankroll. I don't have to rely on the Comdata card, their fuel card. I can still afford my own gas. And I could afford what I needed to do when I was at home. I didn't, party and throw all my money away, other than the purchases I made. I was able to, buy my food, which was massively expensive. I have a really nice grocery store where I live in Western New York. We have a Wegmans, right? Shameless plug for the very overpriced store, but when I go around the country, I know why I like that grocery store. Some of these grocery stores, I don't think people realize, man, they're shopping in 1979, man. These grocery stores haven't changed. They just look so like, what do you got in here, right? Where Wegmans is a really nice store, but you do pay for it. So anyways, that's I'm back out on the roads. Finally, all of a sudden, just as I thought, as soon as I was getting used to being home, and my bed and my studio, where I can produce music and do some guitar lessons that I tried to do. They're hard to make videos and edit them, and as you can see here, these are just live. I couldn't get that done in time, or I got some done, but anyways, that doesn't matter to you guys. I got to finally got out a load from Rochester, New York to. They had one from Rochester to Mississippi a week before I had actually gone, so I would have been working a week ago, but they never called, it never went through. So that was a bummer that someone wasn't around to take a Rochester load. Like apparently I wasn't the only expediter in Western New York at that time. So someone outbid me on that load. Then I got but I did get one to Windsor, Ontario. Kind of a paltry run, but it got me out of Rochester, not a big deal, and the border crossings were just cakewalks because there was barely any truck traffic going across the border for some reason. Maybe I just hit them up at the right time. But then for the next day in Windsor, waking up by 1 o'clock, get out of there, pick up in, where did I pick this up? Was it in Detroit? I picked up somewhere in Windsor, right back where I dropped off. I should have stayed there. I was about 11 miles away, not a big deal. But went to some industrial park, picked up, and Rochester to Windsor, tiny little boxes. Another big box, but 20-pound box. So the van isn't overloaded. It's not weighed down a lot. So I made it through, made it to South Carolina, which was a reasonably decent run. So far, I'm topping at least my first 1,000 miles this week. Maybe we can get some more, but it's not looking good. And this was the point of the video. 17 minutes later. Sorry if anybody's still watching. I doubt it, but I'm sure I rambled for nothing here. But anyways, maybe you are watching. It shouldn't be so negative. I'm delivering to Honda. And so as you heard during this time, the automotive plants are basically shut down. So my delivery schedule, the itinerary manifest says, and I drove all night long to honor this manifest because, I like to be an animal and get jobs done. Leave, I was like 1 o'clock yesterday. And I picked up at a factory that was closed, but somebody was showing up there. I had to make a special phone call, and somebody showed up. You could tell the place was closed, but this guy showed up. There were some packages waiting in their shipping area, and they had it ready and the paperwork, and I was on my way. So by 10 after 1, I was out of there, headed down to South Carolina. Burned through the 12-hour drive just to get here by 2 a.m. So maybe they would let me just unload at 2 a.m. because a lot of these automotive factories usually run 24 hours a day when there's no pandemic. So I got to the Honda plant here in Timminsville, South Carolina, and the security guard was like, "Nah, no one's here. Just come back in the morning. Someone will be here at 6:30 a.m." Well, I got there at 6:30 a.m. and this guy at the gate says, "No, it's closed. You got to come back on Monday." He goes, "I don't think anyone's going to be here all weekend. The whole plant's shut down." He goes, "There's people that got fired and quit, as far as he knows." So I'm not buying that totally. So I got to go back there around 8:30. It's probably 7 o'clock right now. I want to go back there. It's probably 7:30. I want to go back there around 8:30 just to see, probably get a new security guard, and maybe he'll know something is up because they said 8 a.m. today. That's why I drove like a madman. I even stopped on a dark road to stretch last night to about 11 miles from here, and I had my hat on my lap, and I forgot. It's a dark van. Don't put anything on your lap, because when you get out of the van, it's going to fall off. And you won't hear a hat hit the ground. So my hat got left in the roadway. So when he said that I wasn't going to deliver at 2 a.m., but at least there's a truck stop right across the street. Okay, not bad. I went I went to go grab my. I went back the 11 miles, found my hat in the roadway because I realized it wasn't on my lap anymore. Um, then came back here and found a place to sleep. By then it was about 3:30 in the morning. I scrolled Facebook, um, shoved my van around a little bit, like some stuff that I had, piled on the bed for the trip. Because I had to load everything in quick when I got this load, and and so everything's been in a pile. Some things got to get rearranged, and so I got to the truck stop here around 3:30 in the morning. Man, I swear I didn't sleep a wink. By the time it was 3:30 and I got done scrolling Facebook, I really wasn't feeling tired anymore. So it felt like I just kept daydreaming and waking up. I might have slept a couple of minutes, and then I kept waking up. It felt like I just daydreamed for 2 hours, and then next thing you know, I thought it might still be 5 in the morning, and it was about 6, just after 6 o'clock. I could see light shining through the cracks of the blanket wall here, and so I knew it was probably time to get up. I set the alarm for 6:20, but I got up before then, and strolled over to the security guard, and that's when I got news this morning that he says, "Oh, you're coming back Monday." So that's not what the manifest says. So we'll see when the big boys get in the office. There's just someone in there, like someone who works there but doesn't kind of do the same thing that the everyday the 9 to 5 during the week people do. Is like a weekend person in there. So I think they work overnights too. They're a team player, but they don't exactly hustle and push the loads the same way. So we'll see when the guys get in, if they call somebody screaming, and brokers call someone screaming, and this stuff flies off my van, or they're gonna be like, well, I guess it's gonna be, I guess it's gonna be Monday, and they just thought it was gonna be Friday or Saturday, and they didn't know, and you're gonna have to wait, and so that's what I think is gonna happen. I'm stuck in South Carolina for the weekend. Now, the good news is it's not too bad here, and I'm kind of torn. Things are open here. There's even a music store open. They may not have the COVID-19 cases here that they are having everywhere else, but I think they do. And it's pretty widespread. And I think a lot of places some places are just being a little too risky with the reopening of everything. Economies come back. My take is economies can regrow no matter what happens. People don't come back when they die. Now, apparently, I also feel like this is, bad news for someone who's already ill. But for the rest of the people, it's probably something they can recover from. So if it does keep spreading around, but people are just, get sick and come back from it, then, it's a hassle then, but it's not the death pandemic that and then people that are, susceptible can take care, and everyone else is, I guess, going to be out and about in playing risky business. I guess it's the best way I can put it all. So, I guess I'll mingle into the guitar store. I think if I've got a day today, I've got to get the oil changed in the van, and that's kind of a bummer too, because if I had gotten this stuff unloaded, I could be there at 8 in the morning and not dealing with the Saturday rush as soon as the 2-hour line forms by 10 o'clock on Saturday. I can be in and out of there right now. So by the time I get over there, it's 15 minutes away, so 20-minute drive. I should be there by 9. Maybe there'll only be an hour and a half wait, something like that. But we'll get the oil changed, and then I'll be on my way to do a day of guitar stuff. I'm probably going to be here for the weekend anyways. Just by the nature of things. And and then we'll see where I'm going next. Hopefully it's not going to be like a week or 4 days or something here still, because everything's still kind of shut down. But if it is, by the 15th, things should really start ramping up. They've noticed it's been a little busier this week, and things should start ramping up because things will start opening up just by the nature of the way things are going. They've been pushing for the 15th as a reopening, so car plants are probably coming back at the 18th, the 15th, 18th, which is about 8 days away, I think, now from now. What is it? It's the 9th. So perhaps 10 days away. So worst case scenario, I might sit for 10 days, but I don't think so. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. 25 minutes later, hopefully I have enough Wi-Fi power to upload this video at some point. And I thank you for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble. It's just me talking, sitting here. I don't know who sits there and listens to this. Let me know in the comments if you listen. If you sat there and listened to me ramble the whole time. Otherwise, we're going to have to just erase this channel because I don't know what's going on with it. It's just me rambling. Who wants to hear that? Okay, bye.